How's it going, everybody? From a different angle. This time you can see my ceiling, and that is a mask that I don't need anymore, but whatever. Alright, today, it's like I'm staring down at you. Again, I'm filming on my tablet, so, you know, what can you do? Today is just a review. Kevin J. Anderson, Spine of the Dragon, Book 1 of Wake the Dragon. 3, I believe. Gave this one 4 stars. Not quite as good as John Gwynne or Brian Lee Durfee, but he's like that tier underneath. Kevin J. Anderson, if you don't know, him and Brian Herbert, Frank Herbert's son, continued with the Dune series, and that's where he kind of got famous. And he's written a lot of Star Wars novels. But a lot of people don't think he's the best Star Wars novel. But so this is his fantasy series. He's also a science fiction kind of writer. I read one other series by him and Brian Herbert, which is the Hellhole series, which I liked. So what is the Spine of the Dragon about? I kind of touched on this, but I'll go a little bit more depth without like any spoilers or anything. So basically, Spine of the Dragon takes place between, there's 2 continents. 2 human civilizations live on these 2 continents, and millions of years ago, they were created as like slave labor by the Wraiths. The Wraiths are like a superior being, a superior race of people. I don't know if they're humans. Well, they're not humans, but they look like humans, but they're just superior in their magic and all that stuff. They know magic, basically. The Wraiths died out, or they went somewhere, and nobody knows where they went or if they died out. So we have 2 different continents here. One is ruled by the Commonwealth, which are the good guys, if you will, of this, and then the what did they call them? The Isharia, and that is ruled by people who really worship these things called godlings. So we have 2 factions, and they've been at war for years upon years, until 20 years ago. 20 years ago, they stopped. I'm not going to tell you why, because that might be a small spoiler, but they stopped being at war. But they were both, like, there was skirmishes that are not approved by either emperor, because his name is, oh man, I can't remember his name. There's Emperor Ilsa, who is on the Isharia side, and then there's Koenig, that's right. There's Commander Condor, Koenig Condor, Condor Koenig, and he is the king of the Commonwealth. So basically what happens is, you know, there's a few skirmishes that is led by this fanatic. I bet I'll hope to tell, I guess. Not hope to. What am I trying to say? It's been a long day. I've been in the sun for 12 hours. I'm probably have some sort of heat stroke. But there's a religious fanatic on Isharia's side called Clovis, and Clovis, he can control these godlings somehow. We don't know how, I guess. And he hates the Commonwealth and wants them destroyed by any means necessary. Anyway, he kind of goes behind the back of Emperor the Empress, and names are evading me. So, sorry. So we've got that faction, and on the other side we have the Koenig Condor, and then we have his brother, Colinar the Hammer, or his name is Cole the Hammer, and he resides in the northern faction of the Commonwealth, and he kind of rules that area. And then we have Condor's son, Aiden, 22-year-old son, who rules kind of the east or western flank of the Commonwealth. And yeah, that's the Commonwealth. And well, so, you know, they're going about their business, and all of a sudden the Wraiths show up to Aiden's door. The Sanddress is what they're called, and they're basically saying, we need your help for the battle that's to become. Now, what battle you might say? This is not a spoiler. Is basically these two Reths factions. So on the other side, on the up north, are the Frostgress. So there's two factions of Reths fighting for control to kill this dragon that is living in the center of the earth, of their earth, I guess. So the goal is to shake the earth with earthquakes until basically that's basically what they're trying to do, is to wake the dragon. Dragon comes up, and then the Reths who kill the dragon will be favored in their god's eyes, named Kur. Kur is the Reths' god. Hopefully I'm doing a good enough job explaining this. I'm not very good at this. So, basically the Sanddress, they approach Aiden's group and ask for help. So there's that. And then on the northern side, called the Frostgress, they actually destroy and pillage a village that Cole's family, or daughter and grandchildren are in. And they kill them all. They kill, not a spoiler again, maybe a spoiler, small spoiler, but whatever. They kill everybody in the village, so the Frostgress, right away, are bad news. You don't know about the Sanddress. They're kind of, they're very mistrustful. And in the meantime, this General Clovis is attacking without the Empress's knowledge on the other side. And then you have, you have a lot of shit happening. It's kind of like a Game of Thrones. Again, I'm comparing to that. The only thing I compare is like when Cersei's is... Not Cersei. What the hell am I talking about? You know what? I'm done with names. I can't figure this stuff out. All right. Anyway, so you have multiple point of views, which I really like in this. You get multiple characters, and then they kind of cross with each other. For instance, Clovis has a group of he's got a special group called the Black Eels, and what the Black Eels are basically these super assassins who can take form of anyone they see, basically. They can break their bones in their face and just transform, basically. I don't know how it's magic. Magic, people, everybody. They can transform into whoever they see, and that's how they go out on assassin missions. On the Commonwealth side, there are these characters called Bravas, and Bravas are like an elite fighting group that each Brava is assigned to the lords. Each lord has a Brava. Cole has a Brava named Lasis, I believe his name is, and then goes on from there. They all have the Condor has a guy named Utho, and it's a very interesting. They have these they've got these bracelets that, from what I picture, is when they activate their bracelet, it digs into their arm to get at their blood, and they can basically control fire with their arm. It becomes like a sword flame or a whip or an axe, I saw. So these Bravas are pretty special. All right, so I gave it 4 stars. I am looking forward to the next book. I have them. It's called Venge War. And I look forward to seeing if anyone else has read this. Pick it up if you haven't. If you like a good fantasy, get Breakaway. It's fairly easy read. So, yeah, take care, everybody.